Taide sadhva sadhvi sarva sangam vivarjitaha sangate shvatate pātya sanga dosha hridite taide sadhva sadhvi sarva sangam visarjitaha sangate shvatate pātya sanga dosha hridite taide sadhva sadhvi sarva sangam vivarjitaha sangate shvatate pātya sanga dosha hridite
taide sadhva
लेके आओ
sadhva sadhvi sarva sangha vivarjitaha sangaste swarthate pātya sanga dosa harayite taite sadhva sadhvi sarva sangha vivarjitaha sangaste swarthate pātya
Mataji, ladies. Anybody else? Go away. What? What meaning?
Those very
Sadhavaha, devotees, sadhvi, virtuous lady, sarva, all, sangha, attachments, vivarjitaha, free from, sangha, attachment, teshu, unto them, atha, hence, te, by you, prayartha, must be sought, sangha dosha, the pernicious effects of material attachment, haraha, counteractors of, he, they. Translation purpose by Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami. Translation: O O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. Purport. Kapila Muni herein advises his mother Devahuti that if she wants to be free from material attachment, she should increase her attachment for the sadhu or devotees who are completely free from the material attachment. In Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter and verse 5, it is stated, who is qualified to enter in the kingdom of Godhead. It is said there, Nirmama Moha Jitasanga Dosha. This refers to one who is completely free from the pumped up condition of material possessiveness. A person may be materially very rich, opulent, or respectable, but if he at all wants to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom, back home, back to Godhead, then he has to be free from the pumped up condition of material possessiveness, because that is a false position. The word moha used here means the false understanding that one is rich or poor. In this material world, the conception that one is very rich or very poor or any such consciousness is in connection with material existence is false, because this body itself is false or temporary.
Very slow.
A pure soul who is prepared to be free from the material entanglement must first of all be free from the association of the three modes of nature. Our consciousness at the present moment is polluted because of association with the three modes of nature. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the same principle is stated. It is advised, Jitasanga Dosha. One should be free from the contaminated association of the three modes of material nature. Here also, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is confirmed. A pure devotee who is preparing to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom is also free from the association of the three modes of material nature. We have to seek the association of such devotees. For this reason, we have begun the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. There are many mercantile, scientific, and other associations in human society to develop a particular type of education or consciousness. But there is no association which helps one to get free from the material association. If anyone has reached the stage where he must become free from the material contamination, then he has to seek the association of devotees, wherein Krishna consciousness is exclusively cultured. One can thereby become free from all material association. Because a devotee is free from all contaminated material association, he is not affected by the miseries of material existence. Even though he appears to be in a material world, he is not affected by the miseries of a material world. How is it possible? There is a very good example in the activities of the cat. The cat carries her kitten in her mouth, and when she kills a cat, she also carries the booty in her mouth. Thus, both are carried in the mouth of the cat, but they are in different conditions. The kitten feels comfort in the mouth of the mother, whereas when the rat is carried in the mouth of the cat, the rat feels the blows of death. Similarly, those who are sadhuvas or devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness in the transcendental service of the Lord do not feel the contamination of material miseries, whereas those who are not devotees in Krishna consciousness actually feel the miseries of material existence. One should therefore give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of persons engaged in Krishna consciousness, and by such association he will benefit in spiritual advancement. But by their words and instructions, he will be able to cut off his attachment to material system.
Om Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurmitani Shri Chaitanya Manobhisham Sargamena Mudare Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Gopal Shri Guru Shri Gopal Sarvetam Sadhutam Shri Radha Krishna Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnānandō Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Radha Kanta Namasute Sapta Kanta Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanusre Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadharvakasya Kripa Sindhu Vaivasa Vritanam Bhaveyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Sadhva Sadhvi Sarva Sangha Vivarjita Sangha Tesha Vatate Pratya Sangha Dosha Hedite. I'm getting a bathroom. So, Lord Kapila Dev is continuing to instruct his mother. And the theme of the verses we discussed for the past 3 days is the same. Earlier, just to recall, Devahuti, the mother of the Lord, wanted to know how could she become free from the entanglement of birth and death. Frankly, there's no question of Devahuti being in ignorance. Like Arjuna, there was no question of his being in ignorance. But the situation had to be created so the philosophy could be spoken for the benefit of the conditioned soul. So the Lord said, by taking to the path of devotional service, and the mother wanted to know, how can I cultivate devotional service? You are saying, take to the path of devotional service to become free from entanglement of birth and death. But how do I cultivate devotional service? And the son replied, by associating with a sadhu and by associating with a saintly person. And then in the subsequent verse, he explains for the qualification of a sadhu. The famous verse, who recalls, Viteksha Karunika, Suvida Sarvadena, Vedata Sarvasanta, Ada Sadhu. Then Lord Kapila Dev goes on to explain what are the qualities. The sadhu is one who is always engaged in hearing and glorifying the Supreme Lord. And because one is so engrossed in glorifying the Lord, he doesn't feel the material misery. Sometimes you see that people are very absorbed in watching a sports match or something. And then if somebody comes and pickpockets the pocket, you won't notice that. You know that. The pickpocketers have a nice time. When people are very absorbed in something like that. So, when one is absorbed in spiritual activity, then he doesn't feel material pang. Just like Parikshit Maharaj in the 10th canto said. He said that, since I've been hearing about the narration of the Bhagavatam, my hunger and thirst have totally disappeared. He was fasting for 7 days, but he didn't feel the hunger and thirst. Why? Because he was totally absorbed in hearing and chanting, hearing about the glories of Lord. Similarly, the Brijvasis were so absorbed in looking at Krishna's face that they didn't feel any hunger or thirst. They were lifting the Govardhan hill. So continuing on the same theme, Kapila Deva is emphasizing the same point from different angle. We see in the scriptures the main point being emphasized again and again, just like in the 2nd chapter of the Gita. Krishna could have summarized the information on his soul in 1 or 2 verses. But he discusses it at great length from different angles so that it sinks into our head, the eternal nature of the soul. So similarly, in this section of the Bhagavatam, the emphasis is not only on the need to get attached to a sadhu, but also the need to associate with saintly people all the time. So let's see what does Kapila Dev say in there. O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. Those devotees who are free from attachment, what are their qualities? Their qualities are that they are absorbed in serving the Lord. They are absorbed in the transcendental process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. And what do they abstain from? What do they avoid? Prajalpa. Prajalpa, as we have often emphasized, is destructive. And the opposite of Prajalpa is, what is the opposite of Prajalpa? Krishna Katha. That is constructive. Prajalpa refers to topics not related to the Lord, not related to devotional service, not related to achieving the ultimate goal of life. And unfortunately, we are so accustomed to Prajalpa. Alright? We are born and brought up in an environment where you're constantly doing Prajalpa, hearing Prajalpa. As we said yesterday, to succeed in this endeavor, we need 2 people, the speaker and the listener. If there's no listener, the speaker is going to shut up. Alright? But when the speaker finds a palatable partner, then the Prajalpa just expands. Therefore, Krishna says, one of the austerities of the tongue is to regularly recite Vedic literature. One of the austerities of the tongue is to recite the holy name of the Lord. Why is that an austerity? Because we're so used to mundane talk. We're so used to mundane talk that when we have to endeavor to spiritually engage the tongue, it's a little painful exercise. Alright? Is it painful? It's painful because we're so used to the opposite. But if we make an attempt, disease can be cured. In the 𝐾𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿. The 𝐾𝐢𝐬𝐿 is a very small book. Only 11 verses. How many of you have read that book? Okay. The 11 verses with very elaborate purpose. So, Rupa Goswami, we were discussing Rupa Goswami last night. He wrote many wonderful books, but Prabhupada translated only 2 of them. Gopal Goswami says, the holy name of the Lord is sweet like sugar candy. Anyone likes sweets? Yeah? They like sweets. The only time when they stop eating sweets is when they have diabetes. Right? And sometimes people can't even resist sweets after they have diabetes. So, holy name of the Lord is sweet like sugar candy. The pastimes of the Lord are also sweet like sugar candy. The qualities of the Lord are also sweet. So everything so sweet, we should be engaged in chanting all the time, am I right? But does that happen? Yes? No? Gopal Krishna says, why? He said, because our child is afflicted with a disease called avidya. Someone said join it, but Gopal Krishna uses the word avidya. The disease called avidya. What does avidya mean? What does it mean?
Ignorance.
Avidya means ignorance. Because of the disease of ignorance, we can't taste the sweetness. What does ignorance mean? Ignorance means being influenced by the anarthas. Lust, anger, greed, envy, hatred. Kam, krodh, lobha, mad, these are the anarthas, which are the stumbling blocks. In the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna questioned, how is one compelled into sinful acts unwillingly? I know it's wrong. I know I should not be doing it. But still I get carried away. Am I right? Happens. So what did the Lord reply? What did the Lord reply? 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿, Raja Guns, one Lord. He said, Arjuna, this is due to the influence of lust, which is the all-devouring enemy of the living entity, which is always burning like fire and is never satiated. So what's the nature of this lust? Always burning like fire and which can never be put out. It's always burning like fire. And you go on adding butter to the fire, are the flames going to get higher or lower? Higher. So Krishna has identified the cause. Then Krishna goes a step further. He says, where is this all-devouring enemy residing? Where? Mind. Where? Mind and the senses and the intelligence. We have intelligence. You can't deny that people have intelligence. But unfortunately, what is intelligence used for? How can you facilitate sense enjoyment? Scientists are doing a lot of research, isn't it? There is so much money being spent on cancer research. Maximum amount of medical money is spent in finding a solution to cancer. In America you have thousands of professors doing research. But there's a simple solution. Stay away from meat and other bad things. There was so much is being spent to conquer diseases. But many of these diseases are the result of bad habits. The bad habits, nobody wants to cure. You want to go on with the bad habits, just like AIDS. So much money was spent, and is being spent, to conquer AIDS. What is age the result of? Age is the result of breaking the laws of God. But that day nobody will talk about. But they'll say, well, you go ahead with your nonsense, we'll give you a solution. Prabhupada used to say, science is always giving us poetry checks. So, Krishna says, this enemy is located where? Mind, intelligence, and the senses. Now the enemy has been identified. What did Krishna further say? Destroy this enemy with a weapon of knowledge. So, with knowledge, these and others can be eliminated. Srila Goswami gives a similar answer. He says, the holy name is sweet, but because we are afflicted with avidya, we can't taste the sweetness of the holy name. But if we essentially take to the process of chanting the holy name, then what will happen? What will happen? The disease will get cured, and you'll be able to taste the sweetness. So, Kapila Deva is saying, get attached to the transcendentalist. Why? The transcendentalist knows how to cure the disease. The transcendentalist knows that we are in a diseased condition. We are spiritually diseased. Someone may say, I'm not diseased, the doctor gave me a clean chit. You may have a clean chit, but we are spiritually diseased. So Kapila Deva is saying, my dear mother, those who are serious about spiritual life, they should get attached to the transcendentalist. The transcendentalist is one who has freed himself from material attraction. Now, if you associate with the transcendentalist, what do you get to hear? You get to hear the pure, unadulterated message. Prabhupada, when he came to America, he met the Swamis who were making money, who saw Prabhupada's rigid preaching, and who were advising Prabhupada. Swamiji, no one's going to listen to your message. You should also come like us. But he refused to compromise. When Prabhupada was setting up ISKCON in America, the first temple was opened on 2nd Avenue, and Prabhupada had a few followers who were not so strict themselves. So Prabhupada consulted them. What name should we give our society? And several said, so we should call it International Society for God Consciousness. Prabhupada said, no! Why God Consciousness? Call it International Society for Krishna Consciousness, because that is more specific. So the genuine saint, the genuine sadhu, he does not adulterate the message. He gives the message in its pure form. So Lord Kapila is saying, by getting attached to a sadhu who is free from all material attachment, as we said the other day, and as we read in Prabhupada's purport, there are two types of attachments, material and some attachment has to be there. We don't say if you come to Krishna consciousness, you don't think about anything, you don't do anything, you just sit down like a statue. It's not you. Krishna doesn't say that. He said, Mandana Bhava Madhvakto Madhaji Mandamaskuru Madhavachi Satyam Te Parijanam Yoshime. Think of me, become my devotee, bow down to me, offer your homage to me. If you do this, you come to me. Arjuna was hesitant in taking part in the battle. He could not foresee getting into a battle with those that he had adored, worshipped, respected. But Krishna said, no, you must fight. That's your duty as a Kshatriya. But Krishna not only told him you must fight, he gave him an accompanying instruction. Who knows what that instruction was? Tasmat Savesha Kaleshu Mamanishwarayudhya. The mind and intelligence dedicated to me. Fight! Do a duty. So not just fight, but mind and intelligence dedicated to me. What does it mean, mind and intelligence dedicated? It means in your action you should be thinking, this action is being performed for the pleasure of the Lord. I am not the enjoyer, I am not the doer. I am simply an instrument to perform this action for the pleasure of the Lord. What happens when you act in that mentality? Then you become free from the reaction. Then you become free from the act. So, this is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes people think, oh, Bhagavad Gita preaches inaction. It doesn't preach inaction. Bhagavad Gita preaches action, but for the right cause. And what does Krishna say further? Yad karoshi, yad asnasi, yad hosi, dasi yad. Yad tavasvati 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿, yad karishma. Whatever you do, everyone has to engage in some activity. Is that true? Engage in it for me. Whatever sacrifice you do, charity you do, austerity you do, with my pleasure. So if we associate with the transcendentalist, if we associate with a genuine spiritualist, then you will be encouraged to act for the pleasure of the Lord. At no point does Krishna say, become inactive. At no point did Prabhupada ever say, become inactive. But we have to remember, Krishna consciousness means acting for the right cause. Prabhupada gives a very famous example, the purport of this verse. Who knows that example? The cat. Got it? What is the example? The cat. To the rat, the mouth of the cat is nothing but a blow of death. Ah! Now I'm finished. And she closes her eyes. And the mouth of the cat to the kitten is a source of shelter. Oh! My mother has come to pick me. And you see how the cat holds the kitten by the teeth, and the kitten doesn't shout. So one feels protection, and one feels, here is the blow of death, here is my end. So, Prabhupada has used this example many times. So what does this example convey? To the transcendentalist, the material world also is a place of shelter where he uses everything in service of the Lord. Just like Krishna says in the Gita, lotus leaf is in water, but doesn't touch the earth. Lotus is in water, doesn't touch the water. When he gives that example, in the Western countries, they can't relate to it because they don't have lotus leaves. I'm sure you have it in Mauritius. So you notice it was water, it doesn't touch the water. So we associate with a genuine sadhu, we associate with the saintly person, then you get the right God. In the 7th canto of the Bhagavatam, we read about Grihastha life, ideal family life. The Bhagavatam is such a perfect document. It gives you guidance on virtually any question you may have, any topic any you may have. On most questions, you go to the Veda base and you get a proper quote. So anyway, Narada Muni was questioned by Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, here again, Yudhishthira Maharaj is inquiring from Narada Muni. You may say, Yudhishthira Maharaj, He was Dhamraj. He needs to inquire. Yes, he's inquiring for whose benefit? Our benefit. Especially devotee and worship. What did Yudhishthira say? He said, please instruct us how we who are following religious principles, who are in the Grihastha ashram, can achieve perfection based on Vedic scriptures. So his question was, how can we, who are engaged in the Grihastha ashram, engage in achieving perfection, but for the rider, according to religious principles. He didn't just want any answer, he just wanted to know how can those who are in the Grihastha ashram achieve perfection according to Vedic principles. So what did Narada Muni say? He said Grihastha has to engage in occupation to earn money. A Grihastha should not think, I'm earning this for my enjoyment. You should understand, I'm earning this for the Lord. And he should associate with saintly people who can guide him how to hear and chant. So this principle of association, this principle of getting attached to a saintly person is repeated again and again. Now, as we explained earlier, attachment to a saintly person is not something material. It's not that you jump high, throw a lot of flowers to show your attachment. Attachment in spiritual life means being attached to the instruction, being attached to the Vani. That is more important. Prabhupada used to give an example. He said, I met my spiritual master not more than 10 times in the whole life. And my godbrother met him much more. They were sannyasis. They were Bhakti-Siddhanta called them. Prabhupada met his guru only 10 times, because they were always in different cities. But he took the Vani to heart. He meditated on the Vani and he endeavored to realize the Vani. So when you talk about getting attached to a transcendentalist, we're talking about getting attached to the instructions. The Vani is more important than Vapu. And if we get attached to the Vani, that is real attachment. So Prabhupada dedicates the first canto of the Bhagavatam to his spiritual master. He says, he lives forever by divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. We associate with the instructions. That is superior to physical associate. And if we associate with the instructions, then the doors of liberation will open. So Kapila Dev here is once again emphasizing, and subsequent to this verse, there are 5 more beautiful verses that talk about spiritual association. So Kapila Dev is saying, virtuous lady, why? Because she was the mother of the Supreme Lord. Her questions were virtuous. Therefore, he did not inquire how can I get some material benefit. She wanted to know how can she become free from the cycle of birth and death. You must seek attachment to the such flame. So Kapila Dev is saying, again, you must get attached to such holy men. For by their attachment, you can give up the effects of material existence. The material existence is painful. Yes? No? Yes. If anyone says, no, it's enjoyable, he's an illusion. You may be enjoying it today, but it's not going to continue tomorrow. You may have the best resources, the best facilities, but it's all temporary. All the billionaires of the world have come and gone. I think when you were young, you probably heard of the Rockefeller family. Did you? Rockefeller in America. Very famous. Now they're all gone. All that's left behind is the name. And you go to New York, Rockefeller Plaza. That's all. They're all gone. Or you might have heard of famous musicians, famous movie stars, famous athletes. They're all come and gone. So we can see how everything is temporary. Now, on this theme, Prabhupada quotes in the purport from the 15th chapter, 5th verse, the famous Vamana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha. Get attached to those who are free of mutual entanglement and who are humble in nature. There's another point in this verse, in the purport that Prabhupada made. Associate quality of a saintly person is he is humble in nature. Why is the transcendentalist humble in nature? Because the transcendentalist knows that's the way to please the Lord. In the Bhagavatam, there's a very simple analogy, example. The branches of a tree, as the fruits mature, they get pulled downwards, am I right? And when the fruits are ripe, what happens? Branches are shooting upward. And when they are ripe, they get pulled downward. So Prabhupada, Narada Muni, gave this example in the 4th canto. At the center of one who is advanced in spiritual life is that he is humble in nature. This humility is very important, and Prabhupada talks about this in his purport, about the importance of humility in spiritual life. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially emphasizes, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Siddhana vichena sunichena prorpita amanina manadena ketana dita. If you want to chant, how many of you would like to chant the holy name all the time? Oh, assembly of pure devotees. So, if you want to chant Kirtanadi Sadahari, Sada means always. Kirtana means doing Kirtan hearing. Hari means name of the Lord. If you want to chant the name of the Lord, Lord Chaitanya gives us advice. What's that mentality? Siddhartha be more humble than a miracle. But the grass, as you know, is pretty humble. You want to know how? How is the grass humble? You walk on the head of the grass all the time. The grass bites your feet and say, why are you walking on my head? Does it do that? No. I don't think the grass doesn't feel something. The grass and the trees, they have consciousness, but extremely tiny. So, more humble than the grass. More tolerant than a tree. As Prabhupada often explained, the tree is very tolerant. In what way? In the summer season, when it's very hot, you take advantage of a cooler air conditioner. The poor tree stands in the hot sun. In fact, people go and take shelter of the branches of the tree. The tree is so standing. In the winters, you take care of heating. Does anyone ever heat that tree? No. So more tolerant than it. Give all respect to others, not expecting anything in return. we respect it. We don't say tit for tat. You know what's tit for tat? No? Other people don't know what's tit for tat. In Hindi they say nela padela. In Russian they say zuba zub. In English they say tit for tat. The tit for tat means, you know, there should be one slap, I'll give you two slaps. The opposite word Mahatma Gandhi preached. Okay. What Lord Chaitanya said, offer respects to others, even if they don't offer respects to you. Amani na mana dena. You offer respect, even if somebody doesn't reciprocate. And if you do that, if you have that human mentality, you can go on chanting all the time. Let's say you have the mentality, I'm so great, I am the greatest, the best, the most beautiful, the most handsome. Then what happens? Pride causes your fall. That's why in the scriptures, the mood of humility is advised. Because humility helps us on the path of spiritual progress. And pride is a stumbling block. The Prabhupada says in the purport of this verse, quoting from the text 5 of chapter 15, Prabhupada says that one who is the advanced devotee is tolerant, more humble than a blade of grass, and respectful to everyone. That is important. Offer respect to everyone. In spiritual culture, we offer respect to everyone. In spiritual culture, being a boss is not the goal. The goal is be a servant of the servant. Dasa, 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 dasa. Become a servant of the servant. Becoming a servant of the servant, you get the mercy of the Lord. At the time of Lord Chaitanya, there was a king called King Pratapudra. This King Pratapudra was a king of Orissa. And he had a great desire to get an audience with the Lord. But the Lord kept on refuting it to increase his eagerness. But on the Rath Yatra occasion, Lord Chaitanya saw, oh, here was the king acting like a sweeper, sweeping the floor road. I mean, the Rath was going to move. Lord Chaitanya saw, being a king, he's doing such a menial job, he's so humble. The Lord revealed his transcendental Leela. The Lord was organizing 8 Sankirtan parties with each Rath. And he had simultaneously expanded himself in all the 8 chariots, all the 8 Kirtan parties. There were only 2 of the devotees could see it. And he gave this special privilege to also King Pratapudra. The point is this: by humility, you can capture the mercy of the Lord. Yesterday I had somebody ask me, I go to this Phoenix temple and I just wash pots. Is that a good service? Sometimes people say, oh, you're doing such ordinary service. I said, it's glorious service. You're washing the pots, washing the plates, sweeping the floor. You're doing something on humanity. Somebody thinks, oh, I ain't come to ISKCON to become a sweeper. They want me to sweep the floor. If you sweep the floor, you'll make spiritual advancement. As Lord Chaitanya says, Bhakti-Siddhanta said, the cleansing of the heart. There's a devotee in Montreal, Canada, where the Prabhupada disciple, I've known him for about 40 years. For 40 years he comes every day to the temple and washes pots for the temple. Every day, he never missed it. So, on the devotional path, a humble approach is a more glorious solution. And on the spiritual path, pride, arrogance, anger are stumbling blocks. So if you have to do something menial, you should be fortunate. I often give the example of the Sikhs. The Sikhs, when they go to the Gurdwara, you know the Gurdwara. And Sikhs, there is a tradition that the biggest, best service is the menial service. So there's a lineup of people waiting in line to the menial service of managing the shoe stand. And people come and keep their shoes. So on the devotional path, when we talk about humility, this includes certain characteristics. One principle on the path of humility is to recognize that I am fool number one. I need guidance. When the Mayavadi sannyasi, headed by Prabodhana Saraswati, said, "You're such a prominent scholar. What are you doing chanting and dancing like a madman? Why don't you study the Vedanta with us?" What did the Lord say? My spiritual master considered me to be a fool. He said, that's all you're capable of doing, chanting the holy name. So, the spiritual path, humility means I'm ready to be corrected, I'm ready to be directed, I'm ready to be guided. But the problem is, we don't want to be corrected, am I right? Somebody corrects us, the guy just envious of me. We don't want to be guided. I have all the answers. And that's how we remain internally proud. So when we talk about humility, it is not external humility. External humility means I often done the best to everyone. But internally I think I'm the best. Humility has to be from the heart. So Lord 𝐾𝐈𝐿 is continuing to instruct on the important principle of getting attached to a saintly person. Lord 𝐾𝐈𝐿 is pointing out, if you get attached to the saintly person, then that will open the door of what? What door? Liberation. And if we remain attached to materialness, who are addicted to sense enjoyment, and that attachment will open the door to bondage. So the choice is ours. You want the right path or the wrong path. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, Arjuna said, now I'm confused about my duty. Please guide me what I should do. And Krishna started guiding. So Krishna said in the 18th chapter, is your relation of God? Have you understood with an attentive mind what I said? And what did Arjuna say? Yes, Achyuta. Achyuta means infallible. Yes, my Lord, I have heard with an attentive mind, and my moha, illusion, is now gone. I'm not ready to do what you tell me. So that should be our mood. And we get attached to a saintly person, if we get attached to the principle of chanting and hearing, then what will happen? Our moha illusion will be gone. And what is our illusion? What's our illusion that we are suffering from? This material form of life will give me happiness. Yes, we preach it not the body, but we act as if we are this body. So you have to put that into practice. Sometimes people say, you guys talk big things, but you don't show it in your words. So we have to match our words. And by hearing and chanting, hearing and reading of Prabhupada books is very important. Unfortunately, we don't read as much as we should. That's a universal problem. But I see that in Mauritius also. So we don't read as much as we should. At least 1 hour a day we should try to read besides chanting. And that will help us understand the philosophy. So to summarize, Lord Kapila Dev is continuing to guide us through the medium of Devabhuti to get attached to a saintly person. The characteristic of the saintly person is he's not addicted to material things, and his theme is spiritual life. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, accept what is favorable for spiritual advancement and reject. What do you reject? What is unfavorable? And Gopal Goswami says, buy your friend, whatever price you may have to pay the price, but don't miss the opportunity to become Krishna conscious. So we should follow this advice and be determined to make spiritual progress. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama